Hey lovers, thanks for joining us. Today we have the lovely Jess from Weddings by Jess.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
That's alright, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
So we know that you are very heartfelt, authentic, warm, quirky, bubbly, celebrant, all the things we love about you. Tell us a little bit about the Jess story and how you got into this industry.
A great question. It was almost kind of by accident in a way, or by chance I guess I should say. I was working for a company called Museum Victoria back in the day, and working at Science Works particularly at the time, which is a really fun kids museum for those who might not know. And a co-worker of mine had known me for a couple of years at this stage and known that I was doing MC for maybe events and other weddings and things like that. And I would talk to her about that, we'd catch up, every single day, we'd work together every day. And she became engaged herself, and we were working one day and she literally turned in her chair to me and said, "I've decided that Greg and I want you to be our wedding celebrant."
Oh, how gorgeous.
And it totally took me by surprise because that was never kind of the path that I had expected to go down. I think hosting and things had always been really enjoyable, but I never anticipated doing weddings. And all of a sudden I kind of started to consider this new avenue that I thought could actually be a really good fit and really enjoyable. So I started to really think about it carefully. It took a few months to kind of decide yes or no. She had another wedding celebrant who was legally authorised and everything, who did all the legals for the day. And I ended up writing and performing her wedding ceremony, which was beautiful and so much fun. So Sarah and Greg back in 2012 were the first couple that I ever married.
So you've been married for a long time.
A long time. It makes me feel so old when I think about it now. Like, oh, okay. And two couples after the ceremony came up and said, "We love that. We loved, what you're about, and we're engaged as well. And can we talk about how we can have you on our wedding day too?"
Yeah, I love that.
So that was really great. And then I think that was maybe the catalyst that kind of made me decide or realise that this is something I should really look into and pursue. And so I began the course, and then that year became authorised to be a civil celebrant.
There you go.
So,
Oh, how it all became.
I know,
Love
it's been quite the journey.
And when should our brides and grooms be booking in their celebrant? Kind of what part of the planning journey for them do you think is, or when is the most common time frame that couples will book you?
A great question, and I think maybe especially at the moment with COVID-19 kind of everywhere, it's a really important question to ask as well, because so many bookings are happening in a different kind of way that they ordinarily would. As I'm sure you guys would know with your business too.
Definitely, yes.
So a lot of my couples from obviously the 2020 wedding season through till about May have now all moved into 2021, which means kind of a booking time period that I would normally have maybe a few spaces for is now pretty much booked fully. So I think at the moment, probably once you get engaged and have a date set, whether that's 12 months in advance, 18 months in advance, call your venue and call your celebrant. Just because I think probably that will have an on-flow effect for the next 12 months after next year as well, because obviously all those bookings have to go somewhere. So I think, probably just as soon as possible at the moment would be my best advice, just because there's a lot of holes that would normally be there that are now full from lots of couples.
We're finding exactly the same thing. We have such a busy period coming up, and obviously all of the postponements. Then we think, well, all the postponements, but then all the new inquiries, then all the people that will get engaged towards the end of the year and over New Year's. Next year's going to be really, really busy, which is super exciting, but we don't want people to miss out either. So
absolutely,
first do best dress. We can't double book. Obviously, you can't double book because it's
totally.
only one.
Yes, true. I've got to get on the green smoothies and vitamins to make sure that I'm healthy for wedding season.
Exactly, that's it.
So I think probably as soon as possible is the way to go, and it means that for yourself booking wedding vendors, you're more likely to avoid disappointment. Kind of getting in sooner, or even inquiring with people and saying you know, what are your availabilities for a certain time period, perhaps, is a way to go. Rather than having your eye on a specific date that might then mean that people aren't available. But obviously, kind of pending where you're wanting to get married and things like that as well. So,
do you do much travel, or mostly around Melbourne?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm really excited to kind of expand and look more into doing more international weddings. I think obviously as a celebrant, legally I kind of lose my superpowers once I travel out of Australian water. So any ceremony that I perform overseas is ceremonial, and then I'll be doing the officiating on Australian soil. But I did one in Bali last year for my future sister-in-law, which was beautiful. And it was really exciting to be able to travel and, you know, perform in a different location. And I've been lucky enough to perform all over Australia, so Western Australia and Queensland and Sydney and Tasmania. So it's really fun to be able to kind of branch out and, you know, work at different venues and meet new people and everything as well.
Definitely. And how important do you think it is to meet one-on-one before people book you know, to make sure that you have that connection? Do you find that a lot of people do want to meet you first?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think there's probably two schools of thought on this. One is that I do tend to find some couples that might have a really crammed time schedule. Might have been following me on, say, Instagram for a little while, so they have a bit of an idea of what my voice sounds like, my personality, and they feel comfortable enough to say, you know, we're emailing you because we want to book you, and in those circumstances, you know, we will still meet, obviously, but they're happy to kind of do the initial booking without meeting face to face, or it will most likely be a phone or a Skype meeting. During this time, the last couple of months, it's been a lot of Skype meetings or socially distanced meetings, which we had in the park, which is super lovely. And then, I do also love to be able to meet my couples on my end as well, to be able to make sure that we're a really good fit and, you know, that the personalities mesh, and I guess want to make sure that I can tell someone's story from an authentic place as well. And if they're a couple that I'm not necessarily able to really relate to or mesh with, it's going to be harder to get that across authentically on the day. So I think from my end, I love to be able to meet with them in person and really get an idea of who they are, and kind of go to that next deeper level as well that you're not really able to do over a phone call.
No, that's right. And it is such a personal thing, isn't it? I mean, you're literally standing up there on the day with the couple, you know, so it is such a personal thing, and you know, we need to love you. And I can honestly say that when I first saw you on Instagram, I just watched a few of your videos and I saw a little bit of your quirky style, and I don't know, something. This sounds bizarre, but something just grabbed me even just through Instagram. And you know, it is such a powerful tool, and just reading the way that you write and how you speak, and I feel like I felt that instant connection, and I was dying to meet you, and I'm so glad that you did.
That's so nice.
Yeah, I don't think I've told you that.
That's so lovely.
You know, we kind of interviewed a few, and we spoke with a few different people, but I just feel like no one else really compared. And I do remember saying to you that I was really worried about crying too much. At our ceremony, and I feel like I don't think I'm that emotional, but maybe I am. And I remember you saying, I think
it's an emotional day for sure. All of your emotions are so much more heightened than normal.
Absolutely. And I remember you saying to me, you can redo your makeup, but you can't relive a moment. And I just feel like that's really stuck. Totally. Is that your philosophy? Is that you wholeheartedly believe that?
For sure. I think that, I guess every different wedding celebrant has their own style and way of crafting a wedding. For me, it's all about the heartfelt moments. And I think you're exactly right. You know, a wedding is like a live performance essentially, and you know, you can't yell cut and redo and have people go back and do things again. You know, it's kind of a one shot, one time sort of thing. And you want to make that as memorable as possible, and look back and I think know that you felt every feeling, and you know, you don't want to sort of go, oh, I wish I could redo the day because I didn't feel like I was really in it or really present. And I think with things like, you know, when people worry about, you know, maybe their makeup and things like that, which I absolutely appreciate, it can sometimes take you out of that headspace of fully being present in the moment. I love being able to kind of teach couples how to be present and make sure they can look back on that day and go, oh, I loved every second and I really embraced the whole process.
That's really beautiful. I love that. Where do you think the most wild or memorable, unusual place, the location that you've married someone is?
Such a good question. I actually, it's weird. I've never really done, you know, I've known celebrant friends of mine who have, a friend of mine, Dilhari, she's based in Western Australia, married a couple at R&B Fridays, the event, which is amazing. And absolutely hats off to her for doing that. And she's also married a couple jumping out of a plane.
Oh my gosh.
Before, which is amazing.
That's nuts.
I do not have a story like that, so I'm borrowing hers to tell. But yeah, I don't think I've done anything like that in terms of, you know, kind of really out of the box, like at a Starbucks or at a McDonald's or things like that.
That's fine.
You know, if there's couples out there that want to do those kind of weddings, come on over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that probably my first overseas wedding in Bali was really special for a number of reasons, and it was a family wedding, which made it all the more incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, nothing too wacky
okay. No,
yet.
that's all right. No, that's
But no underwater weddings, and there's so many possibilities out there, isn't there? Yeah.
Think outside the box.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's some cool stories that I've read over the years.
Oh, I would too. Yeah, having all, you know, the celebrant friends, you would get to compare stories and hear lots of interesting places.
Totally. Yeah, I think getting married in the sky, jumping out of a plane probably takes the cake. I feel like that is.
At what point do you do the putting the ring on?
Very good question. Maybe I do it on the ground. Sure. That'd be kind of hard. Or if you dropped it accidentally and it flying off, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah, no, that just actually makes me feel really anxious. Same. Don't want to do that.
The adrenaline junkie weddings, you know.
Yes. What do you think your best advice is for couples? I know I always say being present, which you touched on before. Any other advice for brides and grooms that are getting married?
Great question. I think I want to maybe write a book, a little coffee table book one day of wedding advice and different things that I've kind of, I guess, collected, you know, my little case over the years.
Yeah.
But I think probably one of my best pieces of advice that I heard years ago and now tell all of my couples is to go and take a moment for just the two of you.
Yeah.
And the whole day, as much as you can, practice and work on being present in the moment. I think it still is such a whirlwind, and you know, it really is only kind of an 8 or 12-hour day or time period, and it goes so quickly. And I think once you live that, you really realise it really is such a whirlwind, and being able to go away, even if it's for like a couple of minutes or so, at the reception time, take just a couple of deep breaths with each other and soak that in. Like, we're married, we've just done this incredible thing.
Yes, exactly.
And I find that for so many couples that are married, that's the moment that they look back on and they're like, we're so thankful that we did that. And it really does allow you to kind of just center yourselves, and then you can, you know, go back and party and hit the dance floor and all the things.
Exactly, because time does go so quickly, and I know from speaking with so many of our brides at the end of their night or the next day or the next week, they always say, it went so fast.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I always say the same thing at the start of their day, just take a moment, just enjoy it, take it all in.
Definitely.
Don't be in a hurry for it to be over. Don't be nervous, because nerves kind of kill that good energy. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a day to be enjoyed, and it's a celebration at the end of the day. So
exactly right.
It's really beautiful.
The celebration factor, I think, is such an important one. That you don't want to lose in all the, you know,
that's right,
commotion and everything else.
Yeah,
so true.
What's something we don't know about you?
Such a good question. I am fascinated with languages, so I know kind of bits and pieces of lots of different languages, including Auslan.
What is Auslan?
Australian Sign Language.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and I guess for me, I've done a few, you know, French-speaking weddings over the years, and being able to kind of incorporate their language in the ceremonies as well. So I'd love. I mean, I ideally wanted to use, you know, isolation for learning another language, which definitely did not happen. I was too busy baking banana bread.
Time went too quickly.
But yeah, I think being being able to have those little bits and pieces of language, or you know, being able to represent someone's true culture in their day, especially if they have, you know, a contingency coming from overseas that maybe don't speak English and things like that.
That's lovely.
To be able to give them, you know, something that they can really relate to and understand is really, really cool. So bits and pieces at this stage. Hopefully we'll, you know, kind of learn more over the years. But that's something I really love to be able to do. And French has been, I've maybe done 10 or 20 French weddings over the years, and hopefully maybe incorporate some other different languages as time goes on too.
You can speak a little bit of French at our wedding. It sounds so beautiful.
Yes.
No one will understand a word of it, but it sounds nice.
Just to create the atmosphere. Love that.
All right, quick 5.
Okay.
How do you take your coffee?
I am very boring. Soy latte or almond latte.
That's right.
Straight up, no
Almond.
sugar, no funny business, just clean cut.
Dogs or cats?
I'm kind of annoying with this one because I think both.
Okay.
I have a little kitten, Bella, who is 20 years old. And I just love her to pieces, but I'm also a dog person. So kind of in both camps there.
Sleep in or up early?
Sleep in for sure. I wish I could be a morning person, and I really admire those that are. And I'm sure working in the flower industry, you guys are early birds all the way. But
golly. But you know what, this coronavirus time, we've been getting up like 9 o'clock.
Totally.
It's just been so good.
It's lovely, and even when it's a freezing Melbourne morning especially, it's so nice to sleep in that extra bit of time.
I'm loving it. I feel so fresh.
Good. Yes.
Favourite drink?
Favourite drink, I think probably a gin and tonic or a Negroni. Love a Negroni. Nice and sort of easy. Good dinner party drinks, I think, as well. Nice crowd pleaser. They're my go-tos.
Favourite travel destination?
I always wanted to. I watched the cartoon Madeline when I was really, really little. And I always wanted to go to Paris. And I think visiting and being able to go there in my life was just, it was amazing. So I think I'll have to stick with France on this one.
Very good. France has your heart.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Jess. It has been such a pleasure.
Thank
It's been
you
really
so
nice
much.
chatting with you and having you here and actually being able to, you know, interact with humans and not by the phone or Skype or whatever. It's nice to be physically here.
Another person in my presence. It's so bizarre.
So where can our brides and grooms and people that would like to book you, where can they find you?
Great question. So I'm on Instagram at Weddings by Jess, or you can head to my website weddingsbyjess.com.au. Head to my contact form, call me up, send me an email, and get in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.